All right, so we've got the cinches set. This is gonna be his first time feeling the cinches touching him, especially the back cinch is brand new for him. So whenever I have the Western saddle placed for the first time, I always have a long line on and a stick with me so that if the horse becomes exuberant, I can protect my personal space and allow them to do so at a safe distance. So a lot of people, I think, cause some negative patterns with the saddle, like bucking or bolting. I really want this first saddling session to be so boring. So I'm gonna try to help him really ease into this new feeling that he's gonna be experiencing and make it all about him connecting back to me and connecting with the human when he finds discomfort or insecurity. So I'm gonna send him out at the walk, and when I see him get tight, I'm going to do a hind quarter yield or ask him to stop and reconnect with me until he finds some relaxation and softness. And when he has relaxed in the walk and I feel like he's freely forward in the walk, then I would add speed of trot. Then same thing in the trot. If he's tight in the trot, I'm gonna help him retreat back to relaxation by hind quarter yielding, connecting with me, doing downward transitions, possibly helping him lower his head below his withers, which helps his nervous system click back to that parasympathetic rest and digest state. And only once he has had relaxation at the trot will I ask for the canter, because that transition tends to be the most triggering. So I really want to set him up for success and give him a long runway leading up to that. I'm not going to go, all right, buddy, here's your Western saddle, and send him out at the canter, because there's a good chance that would elicit a buck or a bolt, and I just don't want him to practice what I don't want him to be good at. It down because he's not ready for that. That was him reacting into the speed. I want walk with relaxation, freely forward at the walk before we add the speed. Not ready for that just yet, buddy. Good boy. Good, there he caught himself. And I'm really watching his lips as well, because his lips are pretty tight right now. It's gonna give me a lot of feedback of where he's at emotionally when he can let go. There's the lick and chew, if you can see that. That's a really good sign that he is switching from that sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system and coming back into his body. Love there that he's relaxing his head and neck below his withers. All these moments so much more valuable than adding speed too soon. See if we can find some relaxation at the walk to the right. And I'm just going to help him help himself. We're not ready for that just yet. Just yet. And with that correction, I have this thanks but no thanks energy, because I don't want to make him feel wrong. I just want to help him help himself, make this the most positive and boring first saddling. No, thank you. Good, I like that. So we're going to hind quarter yield. Reconnect with human. Again, I love the state of his head and neck. I love that he's seeking relaxation. The jaw soften with a lick and chew. Now, I am ready to add speed now, but before I do, I'm going to just double check my cinches and make sure that they are nice and snug. I just went up one hole. I always think I want the front cinch to be snug. I don't want to cut them in half because again, that might elicit a behavior that I don't want them to get good at. But I want it to be snug because of course I can't have my saddle rolling. And the back cinch I want to be flush with their abdomen, not having a gap in the middle, because if he does get explosive, I don't want a hind foot getting in between that gap. But again, I don't want it cutting him in half either. So it's just flush with his abdomen. I love that licking too already, and to me this is what I would call a freely forward walk. He's moving out nicely, his ears are kind of bobbing down. He's not stuck in himself. Now I'm going to ask for the trot. And I'll allow him to trot as long as he's connected to his body and it's serving him. He can see and hear those bucking rolls flapping around. Again, they're missing their screws, so they create a lot of extra stimuli, which I like. I'm quite pleased with that. Let's see about it the other direction. It's okay. He's got to think his way through pressure here. I need to be the one to ask for the speed change. I'm going to ask for the trot. Good boy. And he's got those tassels up over his loin, touching him all over. These are all new sensations for him, and he's doing a really good job. I'm pleased with that. Let him have a moment to digest. Retreat back to relaxation before we add the canter. These moments in between are so valuable. It can make or break your first impression with a young horse. All right, so I'm gonna add the canter now. And in my mind, I am not worried about how long he canters for. My focus is only on the transition itself. So I wanna see that he can get through that transition, feeling how the cinches hit his rib cage differently when he goes into that gait, and see if he can think his way through that pressure and have a positive response. So if it's a good transition and he's in a nice, balanced, centered, like emotionally centered canter, I'll allow him to maintain it. But that's up to him. All I'm looking for is a positive transition. Great. So he's allowed to break gait there. It's not about maintain gait right now. It's about the transition. I'm going to ask for it again. Good boy. That's a rewardable moment. So what I love for him, he's coming three. He's a young horse. He's still learning his leads and everything. And what I love is that even with all these unknowns and new variables, he still got the correct lead. He didn't have an opposition and buck against the saddle. He just blew out. He's trying to retreat back to relaxation. He gets gold stars all the way around. All right, let's see if he can find that mind-body connection to the right. And then we're going to call it a day. Good. I asked for that trot. Gonna let him come past the camera and then ask as he passes the gates. Now, I don't mind that. To me, that was more playful. We ask again. just gonna let him fizzle down and do whatever he needs to do. The head shake, the lick and chew, all the things that he needs to do to retreat back to relaxation. I say that's pretty dang good for a first saddling.